Hi, my name is Tiffany Cameron, Reggae Girl's top striker, and you are watching Ryan LFC YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, and there's them here. This is Boom Boom, aka World Boom, the Billboard selector, and me I represent for Ryan LFC. To get the latest Reggae Boyz content, just hit that like and subscribe button. And the Operation Ball Game, I say, knock it, Ryan. Oh, and there's them here. This is Boom Boom, aka World Boom, the Billboard selector, and me I represent for Ryan LFC. To get the latest Reggae Boyz content, just hit that like and subscribe button. And the Operation Ball Game, I say, knock it, Ryan.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Your boy Ryan LFC back again, guys. Another top shelf video for you guys today. As you guys can see in the title and the thumbnail, we're going to talk about some Reggae Boyz, football, and also we're going to have a special guest, the man himself, Rudolph Speid, right on the Ryan LFC show. And I'm going to have one of my co-hosts, JT Taylor, going to be here too for some of these questions. So, my apology about last night, people. I want to tell you guys what happened. I fell asleep and Speid, then at the back room, I wait for me from God know how long the man same day I wait for me to add him to the stream. But guess what? I fall asleep last night. My apology. I am sorry. I was so tired over the weekend. Really do sorry about that, man. You know what I mean? Sorry about that. People, when I wake up, I see the video had what? Nearly 45 likes already. Which is good. I like that. Thank you very much for all the people who like the video. Entertainment. I saw your comment. I mean your people I say you must tomorrow, Ryan. Come on and listen, people, I really appreciate all of you guys. Sorry for wasting your time last night. Alright? It was on my fault. My fault. Not it's a Rudolph Speid fault. It's my fault. And I just want to say that I am sorry to the viewers and subscribers. Alright, my beautiful people. But we're going to hear for a long night. So people, we're going to have Craig Butler on the show. Not this one. We're going to have him on our next show to talk about schoolboy football and a whole heap of other things. We're going to have a whole heap of special guests on that one. So right after this one done, we're going to head over on that one. Different personality and some very good analysts when it comes on to the schoolboy football will be on that one. I think that's going to start about 8 o'clock Jamaican time. But for right now, we're going to be here speaking about the plan of the Jamaica senior men's national team. And a lot of things has been changing behind the scene when it comes on to Jamaican Football Federation. I hear that we're going to have a new genset and a lot of other stuff. But my people, I will have Rudolph Speid in the building soon as possible. I am waiting on JT Taylor, so hope JT Taylor can come on the stream. JT Taylor, are you there, JT? See you in the background. Are you there, JT? JT. Seems that JT is not reach it, but he's lagging and all of them stuff there. But anyway, people, I want you guys to send in a question from early. All right? Send in a question. I want you guys to ask Speid some question. And also, people, we are going to make sure that the phone line is open, that a lot of you guys can ask Speid question and things. So the phone line is open. Grimy family. You hear me? The Craig Butler interview is on the next Ryan LFC. That's going to be 8 o'clock Jamaican time. So without further ado, guys, we're going to bring on our next guest. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the show, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm doing good, man. How long you been waiting last night on the stream?
I don't remember. But I come on twice and he wasn't there.
Yeah, but you didn't know time, Bridget.
I told you I was busy doing something important. So
Nothing important than Ryan LFC showing the Bridget.
not true.
You know what I mean? But thanks for coming, man. I really do appreciate it. All right. But first and foremost, man, where your family and stuff, Mr. Speid?
Better than me. I have to take care of them.
But your kids them the big people now, man. We have to take care of big kids right now.
You never stop, you know. You'll find out.
You might go school.
No. My daughter is a liar. My daughter a big man. My son.
So you take care of them.
I'm still them father, and them have kids. So I'm a grandfather, so I have to take care of them.
Yeah, how much grandkids you have?
4.
How many of your kids involved in football?
None. Well, my daughter, I the secretary of my club.
No, Virgin, it's that them thing you may talk about, brother. Funo rich and enough, funo people them not involved in football.
No man, she's secretary of the club, but she low kids. She's a liar, so she's a liar for the club and everything.
Yeah, but we never see she speak it. No interview, nothing.
She don't have time for that. Not have time for that. She busy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I say nothing. But talk to me. How you feel about what your assessment on the one of the best performance, in my opinion, in defense, although letting 2 goals in the late minute of the Argentina. As a technical man watching that game, how you feel and how much should I grade the coach? Because I think it's a good performance still.
Oh, well, when I set a team come together, match day minus 2, basically. I mean, I think he did great to get them to with that discipline in defense. Bear in mind that we're without some of our better defenders too. So I'm sure that if he had more time and had better defenders like Ethan Pinnock, quality, maybe a Richard King, the score could have been different. So, you know, you could see that there was a lot of discipline. And I was looking at the stats. There was sometimes that would look like a proper team. So I just have to, you know, I'm sure he was trying to impart knowledge to some of the players that they were not used to before. So all in all, 3-0 against Argentina is not a bad result. So I think he did well.
So you talk about Richard King. Going forward, how sure you can say to the Richard King family, friends out there and the fans, because we believe he is one of the most talented players we see for the last 2 years play for the Reggae Boyz when they talk about local player. What happened to him visa issue? You think you never get that in the near future?
Well, what we started out, what happened was that him really get that you know, the date that he had was, I think it's 2024 because of the pandemic. When he applied for the visa, I think we applied for it last year. I can't remember if it's last year or this year, early. So we're trying to get him, you know, a date. JFF did try, it just never worked out at the time. So we have to go back to the drawing board and try and get him a date.
Okay, fair enough. JT Taylor, good evening. Welcome to the show.
All right, bless up Ryan, bless up Mr. Speed.
Bless up, JT.
All right.
Taylor, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, man. Go ahead, man.
Okay, all right. Yeah, man. As Mr. Speed said, the game had a lot of positives to the game. I spoke about the negatives, but I'm sure the coach is smart enough to know what was taking place out there. Mr. Speed, I want to ask about Richard King. Have you ever experimented with Richard King potentially playing a CDM position? Because I watching him, especially last season, I'm one of the persons who really.
You're the first man bringing him up to the Reggae.
I'm put on the YouTube map. He put in the work. He's the footballer. I cannot take credit for his talent. However, there was a couple Cavalier games that I watched where I saw that he didn't finish off plays when he came to tackling, when he tracked down defenders into the box, and he just kind of picked his foot up off the gas and let that defender make the final pass or something in the box. Based on my assessment of Richard King, I think he would be a good defensive midfielder who gives you something going forward sometimes, because he's not afraid to take on players and he's quite accurate with his passing. Have you ever thought about experimenting with him in like a defensive midfield world?
Well, we have played him there on a couple of occasions, not in any Premier League games. And he has also played there probably a couple of times in training. But our assessment is this, and we may be wrong. he will be a good central midfielder, just as good as most people because of some uncanny abilities that he have.
Central midfielder, you saying?
Yeah, he could.
Okay.
But we thought that he would be special playing defense because of his ball angling skill. So that is why we keep him there because we know we're not sure if he'll be special in central midfield, but we're sure he'll be a special player at defense, and that is why we keep him there. As a ball playing centre half is really good, and that is why we kept him there, just to make sure we develop him up in the best position possible that he will be able to excel. He stands out there as a defensive central defensive. Yeah. As a central midfielder, I'm not sure he'll stand up.
Okay. Don't you think he needs to get a bit stronger though?
Well, he's doing the work.
Okay. He's doing the work. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Ryan, cause you know the fans them when Mr. Speid not there, them go hard and not the group them and you know Mr. Speid at the YouTube villain. You know what I mean? So but me just like to ask the question them straight up because me see some of the fans them in the comment section. All right, Mr. Speid, because me one of the person them we always say we need to give the JFF a chance to go forward and see if they can solve some of the issues. Let me just backtrack a little bit, Ryan. Remember when the first time me see Mr. Speid on YouTube, when Mr. Speid did a mop up the floor for the JFF after them try pull off a wet floor negotiation with the player them. Mr. Speid, come fix it up and package it up. And I say, all right, him kind of steer the ship and make we feel like the thing can work out. That was one of the things I think, Ryan, that kind of the JFF on the map in a negative light. Then came the logistic issues. As I said, Ryan, it was trying times for the world. So I didn't expect the JFF to get everything right as far as the COVID restrictions and certain things. But after that, we still had a few logistic issues. I want to give the JFF a chance again and again going forward. Mr. Speid, with a new coach in the setup now, because I don't think Jaime is one of those coaches either who will withstand these logistic hiccups from the previous the previous setup that we have. Going forward now, Mr. Speid, what are the steps being taken to remedy some of those, making sure players a protest when it's game time and all these things because hotel and flight, and what are some of the things that you're putting into place to make sure these things don't happen going forward?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm the one to say we put into place. Remember, I am not operational. It's really the general secretary, the CEO of the company. So that's his job, basically. We don't have one now. One is eminent for us to replace. So that's really the general secretary job. But everything affects technical. And that is why some of the time I get involved, because if things don't go properly, it affects the performance of the team, which is technical. So you have a vested interest in ensuring that things go right. But let's go back to say that majority of our problems, 95%, is usually because we don't have enough funding. We just don't have enough money to take care of business. And for the rest of this year, it's gonna still be tight, but we see some light at the end of the tunnel come next year, and we should be able to do much better in those regards.
Yeah, based by your statement there, Mr. Speid, is the JFF been run in a way where, like, you recognize a problem, and because you're not in charge of operations or you're not in a certain position, is everyone on board to say, okay, we recognize that we have a leak, that's up, make we stop it up, or it's just people are saying that's not my job, I'm not in that area, so let that person be incompetent in what they do? Like,
as I said before, everything is technical when you look at it, because if it affects performance, it's technical. So all of these things that affect us, we take copious notes, there's documentation. It's just that sometimes we can't do anything about it. But there is a move afoot right now, led by the president, where we you know we have we know where we want to go, and we're getting there slowly, one by one, one by one. We're changing our personnel, we're doing some things, and making sure we get there slowly. So it's gonna take a little while. It won't just happen overnight, but we're getting there.
All right. So, what's the status on Dalton Winter? I feel like he was hanging out in I saw that he was in a specific location that day. We had to decipher that video for a couple of days, well, to make sure it was Dalton Wint. What's the this, because let me just say this, Ryan.
Where you saw him?
Well, there's a video out where it seemed that Dalton Wint was at the game. Is it confirmed, Ryan? Did you did you get in touch with the hackers? Is
Yeah,
it
man.
confirmed?
Yeah, but when I spoke to someone, they said it's not JFF.
It's
He
not Dalton. It's
Well,
no,
not,
first
he
of all, I want to correct it. I want to correct that.
was it
Was
Dalton Wint?
no, it was not that time.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
they're not who they.
I know for a fact that it was not that time.
Yes.
I don't know who you saw, but it wasn't.
Okay.
I have a feeling I know who it is, but it wasn't.
So, right. All right, because my thing is this, Mr. Speed. It goes back to the thing where you guys say you're lacking a certain um lacking funding. So understanding, Ryan, if they have to keep Dalton Wint or a Theodore or those guys on the payroll, to where they don't have to
Taylor,
pay.
they might get a new gen sec in a few days from now.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the payment because they're still gonna have to pay those guys off, right? I want Mr. Speed to just elaborate. Is it gonna be like over a number of years? Because that's what I'm saying, right? The JFF is not strapped for cash, right? So we want to know how they're gonna pay them off. Is it gonna be over a number? Because I think that is actually the smart thing to do, to pay them off over a number of years where you're still bringing in revenue and you're not just hitting the budget to pay these guys off who are not really benefiting the program. Mr. Speed, as far as meeting your contractual or agreements with these prior individuals who worked with the program, how is the payment process gonna be to get these guys out of the neck of the JFF finally?
You know, it's not everything you have in your company, JT, you want to go out and tell the details. Some of it just doesn't help
Mhm.
for you to be talking about other people's business in the public. It just don't help when you're negotiating or when you're trying to come to some settlement. So I would try to leave that at this particular time because
But can you say that the settlement has been made? Because what the fans are gonna say that the JFF is the fans' business, is the public's business. That's the one thing where the fans them would say a feel with
so let me
business.
give you an example,
Yeah,
right? So let me give you an example. Everybody is asking what the coach gets for his pay, right? Yeah, we could come out and tell her, right? But we negotiate with other coaches. How does that help the JFF to put that in the public domain so everybody know and then the rest of people come and say, well, if you might get that, me want that.
let me let you know. I agree with you, by the way, Mr.
Right.
Speed. That shouldn't be in the
So
public.
it's not everything you can put on at the
Yeah.
public, and you shouldn't try to ask somebody to say something to the detriment of their operations just for information purpose.
Yeah, I agree with the coach, but I'm talking about we know that big
But it's the
who.
same thing. There's a negotiation going on with the wind, isn't it?
Yeah, so Mr.
So
Win,
you what you want. So there's no. So you don't want. So you say something and him not like it, and then him change him stance, or it don't help him. Don't
but
help.
that's what I'm saying, Mr. Win. Mr. Speed, my
You wanna
okay,
call
me
me
call you Mr. Win. No, Mr. Speed, me okay with you explaining the reasons behind why you can't elaborate. But when you say, like, if you say something like, yeah man, we're gonna work on that, this are the fans them this so you start had the conspiracy theories them start jump out, and that's one of the things I'm always I said about the communication. A lot of these things are easy to map up, just like as you said, we're in negotiation. We just say those things to the fans and just get, because we have to do it differently, Mr. Speed, going forward. I'm sure you agree. And the next thing, Mr. Speed, we don't want you to come on YouTube anymore and say you don't have no power in the JFF, because I think that's another thing. Maybe I can do agree that there were things you were blamed for that was not under your jurisdiction, or you weren't the person who was carrying out that action. But when you say you don't have any power, and it's stated that you went to interview the coach, right?
I did most of the interview. Yes. I sourced him first. Yes, I found him.
So Mr. Speid, why they never choose a madman on the road of Jamaica to do it?
He's not the first coach I went. I went for Bora in Mexico City too.
But what I'm trying to say is that you have some level of power.
No, but he could have still been turned down if the rest of the people wanted to turn it down.
No, no, Mr. Speid. What I say is you were chosen. Even when Mr. You went to the Commonwealth game, I say, oh, Mr. Speid, I say, him no know what go on out there. Like they didn't just pick
Commonwealth
up.
game is not football.
It's not football, Mr. Speid, but why they didn't call Ryan LFC to go and represent them?
I'm going to manage your work.
Why they never call Ryan LFC?
Explain why them people, all of them people in Jamaica call you for them both.
That's what I'm saying, Mr. Speid.
Explain why them call you. Even netball, cricket, everything them call you. Why
So you don't have no power and them a call you? Why them not call some other powerless
First
individual?
of all, they know that I'm a nationalist and I always work for Jamaica regardless of, and I can make tough decisions if I have to make it, and I make logical decisions too. So people always ask me to help. I have other skills to incorporate. So people ask me to help because I'm the first person willing to help all the time when they ask. So and whenever I go anywhere, I work for the country, not for myself, and it is always free. So I'm the one that gives free work. I don't get paid, so maybe that is what is enticing, the freeness. And I don't ask for any favors at the back end, so maybe that's what is enticing.
So that's your definition of a powerless individual.
No, that's not powerless. People will listen to me because they know I'm coming from a genuine place. That's why.
Okay, so you're just saying you're a genuine individual why you've been chosen.
People who knows me, they believe so. There's only some people who don't know anything at all about me. Say this a lot of stuff about me, but I don't mind. I mean, it's fine. They are entitled to their opinion.
But JT, you know, say from my boy level, speed, it come like every sporting body in Japan.
Yo, but all right. We want no. All right, the next thing we want because this is even next like a hot topic or one. Mr. Speid, it's said in a lot of circles that Devon Porter, he's been involved with scout soliciting the service of players while being unattached in a professional manner with the JFF. Why is it that they don't see him as an asset if he's willing to do the job for free and there's not anyone who's appointed at the point? Because this is you come on sometimes at Speid and you talk about if there's help being generated through the diaspora and people want to contribute, because I think Devon Porter wants to see the team win and he wants to have a good team. Maybe you guys might disagree on things. I remember in the under 20, Devon Porter was on the phone with me, other people. I try to get money to buy plane ticket for players. I'm sure that there wasn't, I know everybody at Jamaica did not do that. So I know he has a level of a passion for the team and things going forward. Why is it? Do you guys see him as and more? There's a real answer with this, Mr. Speid. Why it can't be a sense where the JFF at least maybe give him some kind of, voluntary role or a stamp stating
or a letter stating that he works with the Football Federation, because
players when then we have in people like Mr. Speid, like you, Mr. Speid, come out and say, "Who that? Me don't know about the player, but I will go and look him up." But Devon Porter know the player already. He's on the phone with their mom and their dad. So, what do you think about that?
All right. So let us divide. We have 4 main teams, right? 15, 17, 20 senior. Let us divide them into 2 groups. So the under 20 and the senior team. They are really professional. The people you want to representing us in those teams are really professional players. You agree with me?
Yes.
Right. For you to find professional players, there's Y Scout and there's Instat. You could just go in the system, enter Jamaica, you get all the Jamaica players then. You could go in the system and say, I want to see all of the right back and I want to see who cross the ball, have an average of 3 times per game, or tackles 2 this, or you could say, or run over 11 miles. You could just put in all of that in the system and it spit out.
Which system, Mr. Speed?
Y Scout or you could use there's other systems, right? Then you could come football systems that keep data on professional players. And you instant and you could find these players by just putting in what you want, right? Now for you to scout for an international team, you must have an understanding what the coach wants. Right? Agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Now you could be picking a player that you like, but the coach have nothing to do with that player, particular player. So for those type of players, you leave it to the coach would have to be the one who decide the people who he wants to scout for him here.
So what about the under 15 and the under 17? What about the under 17 and under 15?
So we in Jamaica, we feel, because like even at the under 20 level, because we're still using amateur players to try and qualify the team. And after a while, I don't know if you guys see it, but the amateur players not going to work out. You need professional players because most of the other teams, that's what they have you playing against. When it comes to under 17 or under 15, that is where you can more find talent that nobody in the professional would have seen. Before that, they would have seen. You can find. So somebody tell me that they have a talent, and when I ask them, say, Kiddo Art from Arsenal, I'm saying, but that's not a find. It's the Arsenal people find him. You know, that you can't call it a find. No, at the lower level, you'll be able to find talent, and people will be able to recommend persons, etc. to you, right? So I have our agreements that in there, we could ask people to scout. Now, there's a plan in place for us. And we did ask somebody, we have been trying to get it off the ground for a while, where we actually go to the United States and England and try to get our trials there. So the coaches will come across that coach those respective teams and look at the players. Because for you to just give me a player and the player come to Jamaica, we have to have a strainer before they come to Jamaica. Because there's too many persons. We couldn't take like 50 people from USA to come to Jamaica in a camp. We only have a camp, a dorm that can hold 48. Just give you an example. So we're looking at having a strainer, and then people will be able to send persons to the camp. The national coaches look at it before we decide that they are eligible. I mean, they should go any further. So that is what we're planning. But as I said, to give him a letter to say he's acting on behalf of the JFF, that is not. I could never give him a letter to say he's scouting for the senior or the under 20 team, because, as I said before, the coach, he has his people that he wants to set up. When we're talking
no, Mr. Speed. No.
When we're talking to Paul, it was the same thing. He wanted to set up a scouting network, right, for himself, the one that he wants. Same thing with this coach. He has his network set up to deal with scouting for the national senior team. I'm not asking you. That's how they're looking at it.
Yeah, but Mr. Speed, what I'm saying is, a lot of times there are players. Do you know a kid now? What is this CDM kid now name? This kid Lucas Ryan. I think he captained the England under 18 or something. He's this kid Lucas. Do you know anybody by the name Lucas, Mr. Speed?
Well, you see, you're asking the wrong person. I am not the coach. If I was coaching the team, I would know him, because I would make sure I search for all of those players. You're asking me to go under the job of the under 20 coach and the senior team coach.
No, but the reason why I'm asking that question, Mr. Speed, that the site that you spoke about typing in, there's nothing on that says he's Jamaican.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say
how do you know that he's a Jamaican?
Because we're sure, I'm sure he's Jamaican. His uncle is just one. His family is Jamaican. What I'm trying to say to you is, sometimes maybe even Devon Porter might have the knowledge of a player.
So why does he need a letter?
No, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But I'm not gonna fight you on that, Mr. Speed. I'm just trying to clear things up. A JT attack in already. I'm not really come. So I'm not coming for
war. But me just ask you why you need a letter. That's all.
Well, I can't make you give him a letter, because it's.
He was the one who told me about this player that was picked in the squad from England playing in the championship, central defensive midfield. Porter send me a link and say, "Oh, what do you think about John? What's his name again? I can't remember." He was picked in the squad. And I send it on to the coach. The coach gets his people who is doing the scouting, you check up on him, the coach even call him and pick him in the squad. So I'm saying, why is that not accepted?
So yeah, say
Jonathan, the guy from England, the Jonathan Russell.
so Speed, you know, say Devon has been scouting, I would say, getting player for the Jamaica team for over 20 years now.
Yes, but what is wrong? Nobody's saying
Nothing. Let's just say, Speed. Agree.
Is because he might send a name to the coach, and the coach just don't like that player, care what Devon want to say. Now, just listen to me for instance. So if Devon go to him and say, Ryan LFC, I want you to play for Jamaica because I like how you move and how you play and everything and all of that, and you're going to play, he's going to be a starter. Carry the player come, the coach take one look on him and just don't like something about him based on what he's looking for in a defender. For instance, for what he's looking for in a defender or a winger or something. Because he want to play a little bit different. Him just part that player. Just not using that attack because it's not what he want. You can see the conflicts. That is why whoever is scouting for the coach must be somebody that the coach trusts and tell that the person, listen, this is the type of player that I want. Look for that type of player. It can't be a case where it's just anybody. It can't be anybody scout for the coach.
That's the play I'm talking about, Lee Jonas.
So every time we come to these things, we talk about individual players. It's best if you talk about policy because I am not doing the coach's job. I can't tell you that a player is good or I'm doing good or that's not my job.
But me feel like I get defensive on that part, Mr. Speed, because I don't think I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm just trying to clear things. I'm trying to clear things up. I like clarity when it comes.
But I did clear it up that it is who the coach for the under 20 and the senior team decide who you want to scout for him. I did clear that.
How long ago this policy was? Since this policy been in place?
From ever since. That's it. Is the coach decide? Even when Tapa was the coach, he was the one who decided. You couldn't just give him players.
No, Speed. Me have to stop at this, sir.
Okay.
I have to stop at this on the top of thing. You have players where Devon Porter submit to Coach Theodore Whitmore.
Yes, and then him decide if he want it or not.
Him take it.
Yeah, but I'm saying Devon didn't go and say Tapa want you.
No.
Want you. That's the point I'm making.
He said he want a CDM and they went and go and get the CDM. That Anthony Grant.
So let me tell you about that story there, because Devon Porter supplied a list of 9 or 10 central defensive midfield. I never supply Anthony Grant alone. I know because I get the list too. And I passed down to Tapa too. And Tapa took that one out of the 10.
Okay.
So again, I'm saying you can't have somebody just go to the players and start to tell them that the coach is going to want them to play for Jamaica. It must be the coach. So when Jonathan Russell is a player, Devon sent Jonathan Russell to me. I send on Jonathan Russell name to the coach. The coach having people when send Jonathan Russell name to him assistant and them look at the games in play and them say, yeah, we like him. And then the coach decide to call him. Here's the problem. If Devon Porter like him and decides that he must in the next squad and the coach say, no, we don't want him.
No, man, Devon can't do that.
So that is why you don't want this cross purpose.
Okay.
And you leave the coach for the seat. Once it's a professional league, I'm confident that it's better for us to miss one player than to have this problem with cross purpose and not picking the player that the coach wants.
Go ahead.
I agree with Mr. Speed and Ryan, but I still think that players can be overlooked who are maybe not on the radar, but are performing well where they probably the coach, because this coach, I don't know how much the coach understand the diaspora as yet. He's barely in the team, so it's gonna take a while for him to understand all the players he has available, players who might just show up as an English player, but he's also eligible to play for Jamaica. So I'm saying when you have people like Devonport and some of those guys, are Simon and them, who diligently go out of their way to vet this player and find them, I'm wondering if there is a purpose or a way that we can use that as a value, not to get Ryan. Nobody can find players and put them in the team. But if there are players out there in the diaspora who are maybe not on the coach's radar, and these guys pop up with some of these players, how can we use that as an advantage, not as something where we say, oh, him find a player? That's what I'm trying to say.
So Simon sent me a list of players too, and I send them on to the coach. The coach passed them on to his scouting, his people that he trusts, and he looked through all of the names. And that is why he was interested in a couple of the players that he didn't have in the squad originally. So I'm saying to you that, I mean, imagine a coach come to Jamaica. Even today I was talking to him, and his comment was, boy, I just getting names left, right, and center from every single angle. Now he has assistants that him filter them through, and him assistant who he trusts decide on the ones that them should look for. So my assistant is actually a genius at
Scouting.
Yeah.
But that's what Rudy bring up. Rudy comment, Ryan. Basically, I think this the last comment, Tuffy Rudy. I think that kind of summarized what I'm trying to say. So maybe JT is saying for those guys to help discover players who can represent Jamaica, not necessarily recruit them, because it takes a specific skill to recruit players. But I'm just trying to say all hands on deck, and we try to get the best teams out there. Because I know as much as this coach, coach is the assistant is a hawk at recruiting, Ryan. He's gonna miss some of these players. And when you have guys like Simon and Porter, who this is what they do. They try to, from them see a player in England or somewhere, and them find out if the player have some Jamaican relation.
Okay.
Is there a way we can just make sure these players at least get on the radar, where it's not a chaotic thing, as Mr. Speid said?
But I told you that they send me the names, and I send the names to the
team. So that's how we're gonna operate going forward. Then you just send the name them to Mr. Speid, and Mr. Speid send them on to the court.
But you know what? I'm gonna really want to do well on that. We want to move on away from that. All right, because we don't have much more minutes. I think we'll cut off the next 20 minutes, so we don't have enough time here with Mr. Speid. Speid to 1 hour, and me I work with the man time. So Speid, one of the viewers them, because I don't want him kill me, and I'm regular viewers them. And this going to be funny, because Speid, I go say him no. So Speid, I'm asking you, when are you guys going to get somebody to get on the YouTube page up and running on the website?
Well, as you speak, we're taking we're asking people to provide proposals to build a website, or a commercial website this time for us. That include the social media platform. So we got the first bid today. We are waiting on some more before we make a decision as who will be the provider.
Okay, so it will cover everything: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everything.
TV, JFF TV, everything. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So Jay, you get your thing answered. That's great information, because most national team do that. That's where the fans are going to get more close. We're going to see more interview and all of them stuff they put up on the JFF TV. So that's good. That's good. I love that. But so we say now Speid, new direction. We have the new coach, assistant coach. Cause here we know that the assistant coach is big at scouting play and technology, because previously we have some coach where the technology never really did it, and a lot of people don't understand the sports going to technology. And if you're not, one of the things I'm happy about Speid, man, I tell you the truth, Bridget. You see, when we look at our bench and the cameraman spin the camera up on the bench, At this, me see I go on speed.
And I write down.
It's like my Glock back bus.
And I write down.
So me see the man him there on bench, brother. 2 man there on the bench.
Yeah,
That's what me say. Business are gone. I'm happy about that because previously, man, I stand up on the sideline.
No, man, them never know pen, man.
No, them have a pen and write down in the book.
When I said the past head coach, them never know pen. Them never know pen.
No, they don't have no pen, brother. So, like, I just get a new leaf of release. I say, yo, seeing. And one of the things that me and the coach speak about, I was listening at radio this morning, and somebody went up to the coach and speak to him, and him say to the coach, listen, Jamaica always a concede goal from the Gold Cup, now the World Cup qualify, like the last 10 minutes we conceding a lot of goal. And him say, listen, he have a assistant coach when it come on to technology, we are going to sort out things. And it just make me feel good, Taylor, because previously, like we conceding the same goal them over and over and nothing has changed. You understand?
Yeah. So,
Well, this match, I mean, as you say, normally we concede a lot of goals from crosses, so that was an improvement there.
yes, there is an improvement. And Ryan, I always stated that Scandinavian, I think I like the way they coach. They coach in a balanced way. And you could have seen that with the team in the previous game that we look a bit balanced. Still don't know how we're gonna start scoring goals. I think that's something the coach will probably figure out. So, Mr. Speid, is there any benchmark, any parameters that the coach need to meet at a certain timeline to say, okay, we are on track with this program? Is there?
No, what is here mainly to qualify the team for World Cup, right? He will also focus on some development, but is mostly to qualify the team for the World Cup. So we understand that our team, like we're going scientifically, our average age of our team was like 28 and a half, which, as you know, most World Cup winning teams, the average age is 27 and a half, and it's going down nowadays. So clearly, we have to rebuild, because if we carry the same team forward, the average age by the time World Cup up will be 32 and a half, which that can't happen. So we understand that there has to be a rebuilding process. But he has actually said 2 things that he's working with. Of course, he's not gonna be foregoing development, but 1, players must take care of their development themselves. They must build their own careers, then he picks them. So we are moving away from players sitting on bench in their clubs, not playing a minute, but they want to play for the Reggae Boy. That's not gonna happen. You must show us that you can fight through at your club and play in your club team, then we'll pick you. And so that is one thing that we agree on. Second thing is the gap between the best players and the worst players on the team is just too great. I want you to narrow it up. So those are 2 things that we're going to be working on. Of course, we're going to operate in a system where when there's FIFA windows, is the best available team at all times. We want to win everything we play. And when it's not a FIFA winner, then we look at the development squad. When it's not a FIFA winner. So that is a type of, in a nutshell, what is going to happen in the future.
Or you did feel, Mr. Speid, about the Frightened Friday behavior by like the assistant coach, not the assistant, like Marion Garden, them run out, say, hey, sign my chest and all this thing with Messi. Because I don't think that was a good look for Jamaica. I don't know if you probably did a cringe when you see that on TV. Or you did the other
You know that's not my style still, so I don't have to say nothing.
Yeah.
Me just want to win, and when you beat me, the next same time.
Yeah.
And it's a plan how to beat you the next time. So that's my style.
Yeah, I think things like that.
Go ahead, Tate.
I think things like that can be handled in the dressing room. Like I'm sure our assistants and assistant coaches can communicate behind the scene. I just didn't like that, because as Jamaicans, I believe that we are powerful people, and we set trends. We are not followers. I know Messi is a god in football, but I didn't think that was a good look for Jamaica. I don't even know. I think the head coach probably didn't really like that. But we're not gonna dwell on that too much. What's the look for the Cameroon game? Any confirmation there, Mr. Speed?
with players. If it's only going to be JPL player, MLS player.
No. We're actually going to carry a fairly decent team.
What they call fairly decent team?
Well, the players from the Americas, most of them will be free. So
let me tell you this straightforward. Nobody, me no want me. I tell you, me no want Alvas Powell. Me no want see them back na the team. Taxi, them time done.
Lamar Walker,
them time done. So now, I prefer you use some young JPL player with some of the American player. Them. I'm telling you that. No, I don't want to see.
As we say, so MLS player will probably be available. So we're going to pick. We're trying to win the game. We're not going down there to just take part in the game. We're going to try win the game. So we're going to get our best available player. And if there's player in England too, that the club will release them because they are near to when they go. We'll probably take them too. So
when the game playing on the 9th, I think the international break is I think it's 11 or the 14, one of them there.
We'll see. But we're going to try as best as we can to carry the strongest team that we can carry there. We're not going there to lose. We need to start winning and get that mentality at the forefront of everything we do.
Okay. And is the I'm not sure if you know anything about this, but does the new head coach know any of the players who played in the previous under-20 qualifiers? Is there any connections there as far as seeing players who he thinks could probably progress that he's keeping an eye on from your knowledge?
A couple of the players in the under-20 was recommended, but the game against Argentina, you wouldn't want to put
too big for them. Yeah,
right. Not you don't make people make them debut in that particular game. So
and well, I don't think Mr. Speed can tell us anything about Omari Hutchinson. I think the fans, that's one that's not gonna go away, because I think it's potentially Chelsea might bring him on the bench this season at some point.
I know him. That player, I know him. He's a really good player.
He's getting passport again in Jamaica.
He said that he got his passport. That's what they said.
Who said that? Him, the player?
I think Simon said that, right? Simon says. I don't know. I think Simon said it. Say.
Well, no, because me see a passport with him. Me see a passport with Omar Hutchinson.
Yeah. We can't make that one the escape, Mr. Speed. Me know say, as you always say, Mr. Speed always.
So you don't know Speed? You don't know about that?
No, I don't know if he has. I don't know those things.
You have a Jamaican passport, man. I have a picture of it, but it's not my way to put it out on the media. But I saw a passport of Omar Hutchinson, Jamaican passport.
Yeah. We don't want true. I don't know.
Yeah. We don't want to bother you about player, Mr. Speaker, as you always say. I'm not into operations, and Mr. Speed of the politician life really good. I'm not into operations. What may I say though, Mr. Speed? This is a player though where we is a generational player. We don't want it get too late when start play for Chelsea, and then we start hear this big man.
I know of him, and they are looking at him. His name came up, so I know the coach know of him.
He's a player that we need supposed to bring the ball to the striker. Even Ravel, they are good link man to link the play from midfield to
yeah. This is my question, Mr. Speaker. I think this has been haunting the previous Jamaican team. Now the coach look like he's planning to play a 4-4-2. I obviously don't think that Daniel Johnson and Ravel Marcy can play that position, because then Ravel is gonna have to play too deep and he becomes out of character. Is the coach really looking at this position? Because you're a coach yourself. You've seen that this position has been haunting Jamaica at least now for the past 5 years. Is this something that the coach acknowledges, that we have to get another sturdy midfielder in there who could not just go forward but also rotate with Ravel sometimes to pick up the slack, dropping back deep if we're playing the 4-4-2, or then push the play forward? Is this because that's very important? But because that's where we're getting beat. We don't have a middle. We're not effective in the middle of the park.
But I never spoke to him about tactics or anything because I just believe that it's not my place to really try.
Just
to
your opinion. Let's say take that away from you communicating with the coach.
No,
Based
well,
on your
you
opinion.
know me already. I would never play 4-4-2 if talking as a coach, and I would never play it because I just believe that is an admission that you don't have the players to play anything else. So I don't know if that's what he's admitting. So I don't know, but that is how I look at 4-4-2. It's very good in the build-up phase. It's very good, in the possessive space too. But because it's only two people attack, you have problem scoring. So that's my opinion of 4-4-2, but I could be wrong. You're attacking with two persons.
Taylor, me not really like the 4-4-2 still.
So that's my thing with
that coach
4-4-2.
genius with 4-4-2. Who knows that he can coach a team like Leicester City, like 4-4-2. But I think when we use 4-4-2, it hamper our player. But again, the USP say they're moving away from players sitting on the bench. Too many times, player getting called in for the national team and not playing enough minutes at the club level. So when they come and play for Jamaica, they are not fit enough game sharpness to play that 4-3-3 where everybody want to play. Me want to see who play 4-3-3, but do all our Reggae Boyz player playing in the Premier League, playing across the world, get enough minutes at them club. Fans will have to understand 4-3-3 is not a joke. You have to fit. You have to fit because when you lose the ball, when you turn over the ball, you have to get back in your position. And I don't think enough. Mikel Antonio he becomes a rotation player at West Ham. Leon Bailey, if he sort out himself, he can probably find himself out of for next season. Yeah? Samuel Nicholson just get a game the other day. So when you talk about 4-3-3, we players them not fit enough. And for use 4-4-3, we players them don't understand the system, people. You understand? We don't understand the 4-3-3. We need a lot more time on the training pitch to play that. If you not play that for me, a youth to come up, you're going to have a problem. So everybody see this nice thing with Pep and Jurgen Klopp. We watch too much FIFA fans. We have to be realistic. The 4-4-2, I don't really like it. I think it's back a wall thing. But at the end of the day, the coach.
It might be what is him can't play anything else based on what him up. That's could be.
Yeah.
Probably trying to get his best player. So see.
I know the next formation that fit to Speed is 3 at the back.
Well, certainly what wouldn't fit us is 4-4-3. Where vibes Adika say 4-4-3. I never see that one yet.
Yeah, that got 12 player look like him plan to play with. Look like him plan to run out with a different team.
Mine and me vibes. Mine and me him suppose that I'm a community tag that you know.
Or maybe more Andre Blake for push up a bit higher. But Mr. Speed.
Smash the like button. Hold on the Taylor. People, come on, we have almost changed that you guys in the chat. On a Monday. Like the video. People, we have our next big interview with Craig Butler and some analysts from Jamaica. We talk about the schoolboy football and things. So that's going to start at 8 p.m. 8:05 Jamaican time. So make sure you don't miss that one day. Tonight. So hit the like button and thing. Yeah.
No bias, Mr. Speed, but actually about more based on your observation, like from last season coming on, and like in Jamaica, you're obviously on the ground, you're plugged in with footballers. One player from your team and one player that you see around the island that you think they're not really on the radar as yet of the fans, but you think these two players have the potential to maybe break out in the next year or two. Two players that you see, one from your team and one from.
Well, I like Demara Phillips. I think he's an amazing player.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the time I think he's in the wrong position, but he never stopped running. Very fit player. As a midfielder, he would be one of the players that I will come through. And then again, Dwayne Atkinson. I look at his tape over the weekend, his highlight reel, and just simple.
Who, Atkinson or Phillips?
Atkinson is scored. No, Phillips, as I say, is I think he's one for the future. can come through as a midfielder. I just think them play more in the wrong position in this club some of the time, but I think he's an amazing player, always fit, very enterprising, make things happen. I think he can go places. And then I look at Atkinson tape over the weekend. His 10 goals that he scored last season, some of them were astounding. And I just think that him again could go far, but they all need to work much harder.
Yeah, what happened to Atkins, Mr. Speakers? I felt that he was a player that I really liked. I thought he was developing very well, but then he kind of started behave like him in the USL.
Well, him actually didn't do a good early season was bad, but if you look at his season, the latter part, he was like a phenomenal player. He scored 10 goals as a midfielder, which is always a good amount of goals in a 27 league. He has scored 10 and probably have about 5 assists. And I didn't even realize he was that good, because I was thinking that, just as you thought, him not living up to his potential.
Yeah.
And then when I look at his tape, I was saying, wow, he really do the business in the latter part of the and because of that, a lot of people kind of coming after him. He's actually away on trials. I just won't say where. So,
what's his best position?
I don't know. He plays anywhere across the front line, whether 7, 11, 10, and he can play as a second striker. He's really just one of those players that has a lot of potential, and I just hope him be able to own it. But those are the 2 players that I would like to see them go a little bit further.
Okay. My final question, Ryan.
Make it quick, because the people them want to come on them always depend time.
Yeah, I see the clock,
Under 20 goalkeeper, I'm really outstanding.
Yeah, we need to have him in our team, because I think he should be the replacement for Blake if him continue.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Mr. Speid, everybody want what them say. Whisper, tear up the Mannings Cup right now. Have you got a chance to watch him live lately?
No, I haven't watched him live, but I saw the tapes, and he's scoring some astounding goals. I mean, really look like.
He can play under 17 too.
Definitely.
Really would you bring him to Cavaliers?
No, he's already somewhere else.
All right, that's it for me. Bless yourself, Mr. Speid. Go ahead, Ryan.
Speid, thanks for coming, Bridget. Although the fans them say you time you the couple, let them know that you never time you. Can't bother the fans them. But anyway, people, we are going over the Craig Butler interview now. That one there gonna be crab up, because Craig Butler player them a dominate the whole Manning Cup. JT Taylor, me have a piece of stats. Almost all of the big team have a Craig Butler player, and they will go on good.
Yeah, so mega miss that show there, Ryan.
Yeah,
You're gone. All right, no problem.
So Speid, big up yourself, man. So you say the future bright going forward for the Reggae Boyz?
I think so. We're putting a lot of things in place, making a lot of changes, and as I said, we FIFA even approved a talent identification funding for us, to which is a pretty good amount of money. And we're going to be using it to make sure that we develop the youth. So we have to identify talent from a local level. Teach all the coaches to identify the right talent, not the wrong talent, not the right one. So that's all.
It's Speid.
So if Mr. Speid saying, Ryan, that the coach did have pick some of the wrong talent.
No,
yeah, but people,
they were not trained. Is a difference in when you're trained and when you're untrained. So some people don't know what to look for. So if you don't know what to look for, some of the time you bypass the player who was going to be the good player and play somewhere else because they look flashy. So it is a course, talent identification is a course. So what we are in collaboration with FIFA has decided to do is to ensure that we teach this course to people and coaches in Jamaica, so they will understand what to look for.
Gentlemen, I have to leave you guys now. Mr. Speid, good.
All right.
Thanks for coming, Virgin. Appreciate it, and continue doing the great job doing at Cavaliers Football Club. I will cover in the Cavaliers Football Club. Big up on yourself, people. All right, let me drop the link. The people must have drop the link for the next stream.
Yeah, man, cool.
So, Mr. Speid, big up yourself, Virgin. Enough love and respect, people. And then we are out there, smash the like button, people. Come on, smash the like button. But we are going over to the Craig Butler interview now. We are gonna have a few guests and things, so we just link up over there, people. Cause right now over there I gonna be crab up right now. Whisper tear up the whole Manning Cup people. So we over there right now. We're gonna start it right now. I don't know, man. But special. I don't know why this thing now, but people just click on the icon, my face, Ryan LFC, just click on it, and you will see the way name there. Come on, people, get the video to 150 likes, people. Smash the like button.